looking forward to Nashville.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe what do you want to accomplish in that one that you saw last week? That, or maybe what are some of the takeaways that you guys have, or things you're wanting to work on
Yeah,
this week?
man. I just think our meet management needs improvement. I listen to some of what the girls were saying before me. That I think they're right. I think we're still trying too hard. We know our potential, and we're frustrated that we're not living up to it. And so I think we press a little bit in meets at times. It was good to be on a podium, although it's the first time on a podium is always going to be hard. We're always going to have, especially the leg events, is going to like vault is going to that's going to be a struggle. So I'm glad we got that out of the way. I'm glad we got 2 podium meets coming up in a row. The pace of a quad meet is different than a dual meet. So I'm glad we got that out of the way, and we got 2 more coming up. And I just love the fight in this team. In the postseason, you can't teach that. So I love the fact that we're a bunch of fighters. We never give up. We're gonna, no matter who's in, we're gonna let them. We're gonna encourage them. We're gonna, and they're gonna be good. But there's still that little. To me, it's a little bit of confidence that we've got to find in ourselves typically at the beginning of a meet. But there's a couple of events that we're pretty good at that we have to know we're pretty good at, and that would be vault and bars. If you didn't check the scoring.
Yeah. is there an adjustment to be made as far as, like, I don't know, between meets, like they're talking about, like, hey, vault's going to be faster now. We need to cut down on maybe this conversation you're having between or this, or have it before, so you're not missing something. Is there adjustments you guys have to work through now? And I mean, how good is it to have quads to get all that figured out?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of soreness right now. There's a lot of sickness right now. There's a lot of beat up people right now. But every team is like that right now. That this time of year, that's what it is. So it's more of a mental game at this point. So yeah, that's where we're trying to address that chunk of how it's different and how our mental game needs to improve. Because you can't do the numbers. I mean, if you only have 6 vaults in you before your body gives out, and you need 3 of them on Saturday night. I only have 3 the rest of the week, so we've got to find other ways to train it. That's where we are right now. So it's more about a lot more conversation with the athletes, a lot more mental prep, and then some really high pressure instances where we're pushing the envelope a little bit, we're not afraid of failure, but we're trying to get something accomplished on Monday and Tuesday and Thursday before we head up there on Friday.
You mentioned vault. What's going on vault? Are you throwing
Well,
some
here's
stuff
the
out
deal.
there, or what's going on?
We took 2 starters out of the vault lineup on a podium at a quad meet. I mean, not by choice, but out of necessity. Some of it's sickness, some of it's getting the feel for the podium, some of it's we don't have exhibition routines right now very much, so Olivia Greaves needed to get in. And, I mean, if you're going to put her in and somebody else isn't clicking at that point, but vault was a struggle this last week because of the lineup changes more than anything. And some of that's like, hey, we can't go into the postseason and have one of our stars on vault, jam herself because she can't figure out her steps right today or she's sick. So much of it is being overly cautious, but some of it's just like, hey, somebody else has to get in and we've got to take an opportunity. So the good thing is that Olivia Greaves getting that opportunity, it looked good. That was a good vault. That calms the whole squad down. That's our 8th vaulter now in our rotation. Right. So now we have 8, and you need 8. Our best events have 10. Yeah. So that should tell you that there's some nerves around depth on vault and bars right now. They need those other people to continue to step up.
Are you saying you want to be 8 deep in case someone doesn't react to podium that given day? I mean, is that that's
or
part of it?
If we wake up sick,
sure,
on the round of 32, the semifinals. If we wake up sick on the semifinals, let's say we have an all-arounder, I need to put other people in on 4 events. Yeah. I need 4 replacements if one all-arounder's sick. And we need to know that we can make it to the Sweet 16 with that replacement. So it would have been great to score 197.5, but I need to see that Olivia Greaves can do this. I needed to see that Julianne could go back into floor and do a good job. Well, is it my? I mean, we took a 9-9 out of the floor routine, you know, um, not by choice. I wouldn't have done it if Hannah was full speed, but Hannah's not full speed at this point, and we're not going to be silly about putting her at risk. So that's really the behind the scenes stuff. I mean, the girls were absolutely correct. If you knew what was going on behind the scenes with all the changes and what our plan was initially and how much it changed, a third of our vault lineup changed in the 4-minute touch. And we still work a 49, and we still work a 197. I'm pretty excited. One of our vaulters counted for the score, and she hasn't vaulted in 3 years. That to me is a win, but that doesn't get us through the tournament if we're struggling this much. But the goal is, yeah, we want depth in case somebody's struggling.
Is it almost at a certain point, you need to make the most of the rep too? Like you're saying, you only have 6 vaults throughout the week. You might as well make that one of them.
Right.
That how it is.
Well, and that's a pressure one. Yeah. That's so much different than an exhibition routine. And an exhibition routine is way different than practice. Yeah. So I just remember we pulled Olivia aside, and we're like, listen, if we need to make a change, when we listed her as an alternate, I'm like, you got to understand, you could be going into count. This isn't a gift. We're not letting you just warm up. You could go into count. You will go into count. I did not on purpose. We didn't vault Sophia the whole night because we're trying. If we're going to take a break, we're not going to just give her one vault off. Right. We're going to okay, she needs a break. We're taking an actual break. Right. So no, Sophia's not coming to the rescue. That's your job now.
That's pressure too, right there. What? I guess when you were making this schedule for this year, I guess did you think about like? Where is it like, okay, well, listen, we got to go to a quad on podium in Baton Rouge, and we may not get a great NQS score there, but we're going to be better for postseason. I mean, was that a risk reward when you're scheduling Nashville, when you're scheduling this? Was that what you were weighing?
Yeah, priority number one, be on a podium because you want to be good on a podium in postseason. There's just no doubt about it. Number two is get in a quad meet. And we were stuck being on the road because of our home schedule. So, okay, we're going to go. We want 2 quad meets. I'd love to have 2 podium meets. And then you worry about what the score looks like and all that other stuff. So, in the end, we're in a good spot for postseason. We're in a good ranking system. Now, we still got to try to improve. We must improve. But in the end, if we hit in postseason, if these athletes can step up like they've started to step up, then we're in a really good spot to make the Sweet 16, and then you got to be really good. At that point, you're going to have to beat a top 10 team. You're going to have to beat somebody. We beat 2 top 10 teams this year. We've proven we can do it, but we were on both those days. We got to be on.
A lot of Nashville's a big Auburn town to begin with, but then a lot of Auburn people will be heading north from here in Birmingham and other places. Obviously, men's basketball, baseball up there. So is this a good time to have the gymnastics team in Nashville? You might get some folks there?
Yeah, that was sort of the thought. I didn't realize baseball. I don't think they had actually announced they were up there at that point, but we knew the basketball tournament was going on. So, yeah, that was sort of the thought. But, I just wanted a close meet. Nashville's a fun place to go to. It is Auburn friendly, and with the tournament going on and with baseball up there, it's going to be exciting. So it's a great place to go, and it's sort of an easy bus ride. So we're excited about it.
And the other part of it, the kidney care part of it, just how glad were you able to put that together? And I mean, it seems like you guys are kind of just sometimes you're just like, why not? Like, let's just do it. And with what SUNY's going through, what does it kind of mean? For you guys and for everyone to, might as well put a name on this and
yeah.
Make it
well, I had my own kidney issues. I had in 2004. I was in the hospital for a few days. It wasn't kidney disease. I had E. coli that went and shut down my kidneys. But to know that how bad that can hit you, and then to watch what SUNY went through. And be a part of that, not just watch it, just to be in it with her and still see her going through that type of stuff. I just think, women's athletics and what women's gymnastics in particular did for breast cancer awareness, that's the goal. Let's bring that to kidney disease and try to raise the awareness of that. This is kidney disease awareness month. So all of it's sort of tied together, and it just makes sense.
And I guess what can you say about the venue, the organizers, the other programs too? Just everybody's in on it and like, let's do it. How
Yeah,
good is that?
I mean, look, it's a great matchup, great competition. I think we have Ohio State in ours and Kentucky and Fisk. Well, Fisk is hosting, and that's a Nashville team. Ohio State's, I think, ranked directly behind us, so we have to match up against them, and they might be able to pass us and switch with us if they have a good meet. And obviously, Kentucky's one of the teams we might have to beat in the Sweet 16, depending on where we go to move on. So our opportunities are right there. To me, this is turning out to be a great matchup for us to gauge ourselves. And if we want to get confidence, let's go perform at a high level and see what that looks like.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I had one more question about just seeding. And like, I know you don't want to worry about scores because you can't control them, but would you say a fair goal? You certainly don't want to drop past 16, right? Because then your geography, right?
Right.
So you want to stay in the top 16. Do you have any other goal for that?
Okay, so yeah, good point. I'm not sure it matters if we drop below 16 because we go to Florida.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not sure that's not going to be a regional. Here's what you don't want. So by me saying this, I'm going to speak it into existence. Here's what you would want. Let's put it a different way. You want to go to where one of the top 4 teams is hosting. So Florida's a top 4 team and Cal's a top 4 team. What you don't want is to go to where the 2 seed is hosting or the 3 seed is hosting, because now you got to beat a top 4 team and the home team. So I'm looking at, I wouldn't mind going to Florida, and I wouldn't mind at this point going to Cal, because I think now the other teams are just as quality, but they're on the road like we are on the road. That's the difference. You don't want that middle rank team to actually be a home team to have an advantage over you. So that's what I'm looking at. Is I'm not worried about the distance, even though the distance is hard. I'm not worried about all the other stuff. It's like, so when you look at the rankings, it really doesn't matter. I just need to get to the right regional, and I'll tell you which one that is afterwards.
Right, and there's so there's really there's no number for you guys because you don't know wherever you're gonna.
Right.
You can climb all the way up to 12 and then get sent to Ann
right.
Arbor and do bad.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
So some years it's very obvious that there's some regionals that you don't want to go to. This year it's pretty wide open. I think we're capable of beating some of these hosts. Yeah. I mean, we've went to Michigan and won before. We've won in Arkansas before, so I'm not worried about it. It's just on paper it would make more sense to go to the other 2 regionals. So really, who knows? Who knows what we want? We just got to perform well, and if we're in the top 16, we're going somewhere.